Every year, archaeologists unearth thousands of artifacts. Most fit neatly into our understanding of history, but some don't. Objects that shouldn't exist, structures that defy explanation, discoveries that challenge everything we think we know about ancient civilizations. Scientists have studied these finds for decades. They've used X-rays, carbon dating, spectral analysis, and the most advanced technology available. And still, they cannot explain them. These are 10 archaeological discoveries that continue to baffle science. In 1936, a couple hiking near London, Texas, noticed an unusual rock with a piece of wood protruding from it. When the rock was broken open, they found something impossible, a modern-looking iron hammer, completely encased in ancient stone. The rock formation surrounding the hammer is estimated to be over 400 million years old, long before humans, let alone iron tools, supposedly existed. Skeptics suggest the hammer could have been dropped in a limestone solution that hardened around it. But the wooden handle shows signs of partial coalification, a process that takes millions of years. The iron itself is remarkably pure, 96.6% iron with no carbon content, a composition difficult to achieve even with modern smelting techniques. Is this evidence of time travel, an advanced prehistoric civilization, or simply a geological anomaly we don't understand? The hammer sits in a Texas museum, waiting for an explanation that never comes. In 1938, a Chinese archaeological expedition entered caves in the Bayankara-Ula Mountains near the Tibet border. What they found defied all expectations. The caves contained 716 stone discs, each about 12 inches in diameter with a hole in the center, like ancient records. Spiral grooves on their surfaces contained microscopic hieroglyphics. But the caves held something even stranger. Rows of tiny skeletal remains with oversized skulls. Decades later, a professor claimed to have translated the discs. According to his translation, they told the story of beings who crash-landed on Earth 12,000 years ago. Their descendants were the small-statured Dropa people who still live in the region. The Chinese government dismissed the findings. The professor was reportedly exiled. The original discs have vanished, supposedly destroyed during the Cultural Revolution. Did these discs tell the story of ancient visitors? We may never know. The evidence has disappeared, perhaps deliberately. Yes, we covered this in our ancient technology video, but it belongs here too because scientists still cannot fully explain its existence. Discovered in 1901 from a Greek shipwreck, the Antikythera Mechanism is often called the world's first analog computer. Dating to around 100 BC, it contains at least 30 bronze gears that could predict eclipses, track planetary positions, and calculate the dates of the ancient Olympic Games. The precision of its gears wouldn't be matched for another 1,500 years, until medieval astronomical clocks. But here's the unexplained part. This level of mechanical sophistication didn't appear in isolation. There should be simpler predecessors. There should be successors. There should be references in ancient texts. There aren't. The Antikythera Mechanism appears suddenly in history, and then vanishes just as suddenly, like an island of impossible knowledge in an ocean of primitive technology. Who made it? How did they learn? And where did that knowledge go? Etched into the Peruvian desert are drawings so large, they can only be fully seen from the sky. The Nazca Lines cover an area of nearly 1,000 square kilometers, and they've survived for over 2,000 years. Spider figures, hummingbirds, monkeys, geometric patterns stretching for kilometers with mathematical precision. Greater than greater than greater than greater than. The lines were created by removing reddish surface pebbles to reveal the lighter ground beneath. Simple enough in theory, but the scale is staggering. Some figures span over 1,200 feet. Creating them would have required coordinated planning across terrain you can't see from ground level. Minor errors would ruin the proportions entirely. So, how did the Nazca people design images they could never see? Some researchers suggest hot air balloons. Others propose sophisticated surveying techniques. A few claim extraterrestrial guidance. The Nazca left no written records. Their secrets sank into the desert with them, leaving only these silent giants staring up at the sky, as if waiting for someone to look down. In 1938, German archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig was examining artifacts in the Baghdad Museum when something caught his attention. A clay jar containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod, sealed with asphalt. The configuration looked suspiciously like a battery. Dating to around 250 BCE, hundreds of these jars have been found near Baghdad. When filled with an acidic solution like vinegar or lemon juice, they generate approximately 1.1 volts of electricity. Modern replicas have successfully produced current. Some researchers believe these were used for electroplating gold onto silver objects, a process requiring electricity. But here's the mystery. We have no ancient texts describing electricity. No other electrical devices from this period. No wires or circuits. If the Parthians or Babylonians understood electrical principles, that knowledge left no other trace. It appeared, existed briefly, and vanished, like so much ancient wisdom. Or perhaps we simply haven't found the other pieces yet. In 1929, a dusty map was discovered in Istanbul's Topkapi Palace. Drawn in 1513 by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis, it appeared to be a simple naval chart. Then, cartographers took a closer look. The map shows the western coast of Africa, the eastern coast of South America, and the northern coast of Antarctica, with remarkable accuracy. Here's the problem. Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820. More troubling, the map appears to show Antarctica's coastline as it exists beneath the ice, terrain that's been frozen for at least 6,000 years. Piri Reis noted that he compiled his map from older source maps, some dating to the time of Alexander the Great, but those source maps have never been found. Who mapped Antarctica before it was buried under miles of ice? How did that knowledge survive for millennia, only to be lost again? The Piri Reis map suggests ancient civilizations possessed geographical knowledge that supposedly didn't exist, and then forgot it. In 1912, a Polish book dealer acquired a mysterious medieval manuscript from an Italian monastery. Carbon dated to the early 15th century, it contains 240 pages of text written in an unknown alphabet and illustrations of plants that don't exist on Earth. The Voynich Manuscript has been studied by the world's best codebreakers, including those who cracked Nazi Enigma codes during World War II. None have succeeded. Statistical analysis shows the text follows the patterns of a natural language. It's not random gibberish. The writing flows consistently across 170,000 characters. Someone clearly knew what they were writing. But what language is it? What do the images mean? Why draw plants that don't exist? Theories range from an ingenious hoax to an alien botanical guide to documentation of psychedelic visions. Over 600 years later, the manuscript keeps its secrets. Every attempt at translation has failed. Every proposed solution has been debunked. It's the only medieval text that absolutely no one can read. Hidden in the Tepe delta of Costa Rica lie over 300 stone spheres, some weighing up to 16 tons and measuring nearly 8 feet in diameter. They are almost perfectly round, carved without metal tools, created by a civilization with no written language. The spheres were made by the Tepe culture between 600 and 1500 CE. The largest are 96% perfectly spherical, a precision that modern engineers consider remarkable. But we don't know why they were made. Some suggest astronomical alignments, but the spheres have been moved so many times their original positions are lost. Others propose they marked territories or demonstrated power. A few believe they had religious significance. The Tepe left no explanation. Spanish conquistadors found the spheres already ancient when they arrived. The civilization that created them had vanished. Today, they sit in parks and museums, perfect circles with imperfect explanations. We explored Göbekli Tepe's impossible construction in our first video, but there's another mystery we didn't address. The carvings themselves may contain a message, and scientists believe they've partially decoded it. In 2017, researchers from the University of Edinburgh proposed that the animal symbols on Pillar 43, the vulture stone, represent astronomical constellations. Using computer software to map star positions 12,000 years ago, they found a striking match. The carvings appear to commemorate a catastrophic comet strike around 10,950 BCE, the event that triggered the Younger Dryas, a 1,200-year ice age that devastated early human populations. If correct, Göbekli Tepe isn't just a temple. It's a message, a warning carved in stone for future generations. This happened. Don't forget. But here's the unexplained part. If hunter-gatherers witnessed this cataclysm and built Göbekli Tepe to record it, how did they possess such sophisticated astronomical knowledge? Perhaps the cataclysm didn't destroy an entire civilization. Perhaps it only destroyed most of one. Deep in South African pyrophyllite mines, miners have been finding strange metallic spheres for decades. Some are perfectly spherical, some are slightly flattened. Many have 3 precise parallel grooves around their equators. The rock layer they're found in is 2.8 billion years old, formed long before complex life existed on Earth. Geologists claim they're natural formations called concretions, minerals that naturally form spheres under certain conditions. This is almost certainly correct, but the grooves remain unexplained. How does nature carve 3 perfectly parallel lines around a sphere? The consistency across multiple spheres suggests something more than random geological processes. Are they ancient artifacts impossibly older than humanity, manufacturing debris from a civilization we cannot fathom, or simply natural phenomena we don't fully understand? The spheres don't answer. They just emerge from billion-year-old rock, grooved and perfect and utterly silent. 10 discoveries, countless hours of scientific study, and still more questions than answers. A hammer in 400-million-year-old rock, discs that may describe ancient visitors, a computer that predates clockwork by 15 centuries, lines designed to be seen from the sky, batteries built by people who left no electrical record, maps of land we hadn't discovered, a manuscript no one can read, spheres carved to perfection by a vanished culture, a temple that records cosmic catastrophe, and grooved spheres from before life itself. These discoveries share one thing in common. They suggest our ancestors knew more than we give them credit for. Perhaps we haven't lost ancient knowledge. Perhaps we simply haven't recovered it yet. Every year, archaeologists dig deeper. Every year, new mysteries emerge. And every year, the question grows louder. What else is buried, waiting to rewrite history? If these mysteries captivated you, subscribe to ShadowFile Studio and hit the bell icon. We explore unexplained discoveries, lost civilizations, and ancient mysteries every week. Click the video on screen to discover more secrets that science cannot explain. Until next time, keep digging.